Hello, so for today we will be discussing total derivatives and partial derivatives of implicit functions. So let us first talk about total derivatives. So let's just have a quick review. So when we talk about total differentials, now what we have talked about in the previous lesson. So let me put it here. So when we say total differentials, this is pertain to the total change in the output of the function, okay, in respect to the in respect with the partial derivative, with the product of the partial derivative of a variable multiplied to its differential. Diba? The total differential, for example, if we have the function z is equal to f of x and y, and we are asked to find for the total differential of z, that is equivalent to the partial derivative of z in respect to x multiplied to the differential in x plus the partial derivative of z in respect to y multiplied to the differential in y. Diba? That is the definition of a total differential. Okay, so when we say total derivative, we will just be literally changing all the differentials into a derivative. Okay, so paano natin malalaman ano yung difference ng total differential sa total derivative? When you say total differential, that is the total change. When you say total derivative, that is the total rate of change. Okay, and total derivatives are somewhat, we can relate it with a parametric equation. Now, say we have our function z is equal to f of x and y, okay? And x is a function of t, and as well as with y, no, yung x and y natin, meron siyang parang sariling equation that is expressed in t, in a parametric value of t. Okay, so the total derivative of the function z in respect to t, okay, it is defined as dz over dt is equivalent to the partial derivative of z. Okay, so the partial derivative of z, diba? This is z prime of t, diba? This is equivalent to the partial derivative of z in respect to x. Okay, multiplied to the derivative of x in respect to t. Okay, added to the partial derivative of z in respect to y multiplied to y prime of t. Okay, so yan yung another notation of this whole equation stated in the presentation. Okay, so if you have a kunwari, no, a function of three variables x, y, and z, so madadagdagan ka lang ng isa, no? So we have du over dt, so this is u prime of t, u partial x partial t, x prime of t, plus u partial y prime of t, plus u partial z prime of t. Okay, this is for three variables. So again, just like with total differential, hindi pwede magkabaligtad yung mga hindi magkakaparehas. When you say hindi magkakaparehas, partial derivative ni x prime of t, or the derivative of x in respect to t. Okay? So let's try this example. So we have here, if z is equal to x squared y, x is equal to t squared, and y is equal to 2t, find dz over dt. So this is our original function. This is our first parametric equation. Say this is parametric equation A. And this is parametric equation B. Okay, so find dz over dt. So we have z prime of t is equivalent to z partial x times x prime t plus z partial y prime of t. Okay, so yan yung ating yan yung ating formula for the total derivative. Okay, so let's find first z partial x. So obviously, z partial x, the partial derivative of x squared y, that's equivalent to y times 2x, diba? So this is equivalent to 2xy. Okay, so z partial x. Si z partial y naman, okay, so we have This is equivalent to x squared times 1. Diba? So, z partial y is equivalent to x squared. Okay, so we have the value of x, the value of z partial x, and the value of z partial y. Okay, so let's get x and y derivatives naman. Okay, so we have x is equivalent to t squared. Okay, so applying derivative in respect to t. Okay, so we have x prime of t is equivalent to 2t. Tama? That's the derivative of t squared in respect to t. Then we have y is equal to 2t. So let's get the derivative in respect to t as well. So we have y prime of t is equivalent to 2. Okay, so yan yung ating x prime and y prime naman. Okay, so substituting all of this in our given equation, so we have here z prime of t is equivalent to 2xy multiplied to 2t plus x squared times 2. Okay, however, this is not the final answer. Now, bakit? We need to express everything in terms of t. And how do we do that? We are going to substitute x with t squared and y with 2t. No, as indicated in our parametric equation. So, we have here z prime of t is equivalent to 2 times t squared times 2t, that is y, times 2t. Okay? Plus t squared squared times 2. Okay? Yan yung ating equation, no, substituted equation. So, simplifying, we have here 2 times t squared is t squared times 2t is 4t cubed times 2t is 80 to the 4th plus t squared squared, that is t to the 4th times 2 is 2t to the 4th. So, combining the two, so we have z prime of t is equivalent to 10t to the 4th. This is the answer. Ayan. Okay, so I hope everything is clear, no? So, just abide with the formula, hindi tayo maliligaw to get the answer. Okay, another one. So, we have here z is equal to xy. So, we have the parametric equations, x is equal to sine t, y is equal to cosine t. We are asked to find what is dz over dt in t. No? Hindi ko nalang nailagay, but yan yung pinapahanap sa atin. Okay, so, again, the formula for us to do this is sige, dito natin lagay sa gilid. Z prime of t is equivalent to z partial x, x prime of t, plus z partial y, y prime of t. Okay? So, substituting, no? So, wala pa pala tayo sa substitute. Let's first find, no? Z sub x. So, dito natin siya kukunin. So, the partial derivative of x and xy in respect to x, that is y. And the partial derivative of z in respect to y is x naman. Okay? So, ayan. Next. So, let's get the derivative of x sine x, that is, x sine t rather. So, x prime of t, this is equivalent to cosine t because the derivative of sine t is cosine t. Then we have our y prime of t, this is equivalent to negative sine t. No? Yan yung ano natin. Ayan, at saka ito. Okay? So, game, let us substitute, no? So, nakuha naman na natin mga kailangan natin. So, we have here z prime of t is equivalent to y. So, what is x prime of t? That is cosine t plus x, that is negative sine t times negative sine t. Okay, so substituting, no, we have here our value. So, this is equivalent to cosine t times cosine t plus sine t times negative sine t. Okay, so therefore, we have our answer, z prime of t is equivalent to cosine squared t minus sine squared t. And this is our answer. Because this is not simplifiable anymore. Diba? If you're going to go to the trigonometric identities, dapat plus yun nasa gitna para magkaroon tayo ng trigonometric identity na 1. Okay? So, let's have our next example. So, u is equal to x ln y plus z ln x plus y ln x. So, we have three sets of parametric equations. X is equal to t. Ganyan natin dito. X is equal to t, y is equal to t squared, t is equal to z is equal to 4t. No? So, ang pinapahanap sa atin is du over dt in t. Yan yung mga pinapahanap sa atin. Okay? So, game, let us solve, no? So, we have here u prime of t. This is equivalent to u partial x multiplied to x prime t plus u partial y times y prime t plus u partial z times z prime t. Okay, so we have 6 sets of variables na kailangan, no, to for us to be able to determine what is u prime of t. Okay, so let's get the partial derivatives. So we have u partial x. This is equivalent to partial derivative of x ln y, that is ln y. Okay, because x will just be 1. Then you have z ln x. So the partial derivative, the derivative of ln x in respect to x is 1 over x. So we have plus z times 1 over x. Okay, then plus, ganun din dito, no? So we have y times 1 over x. Ayan. So this is our u prime of u partial x. Next, let's get u partial y. So the partial derivative of x ln y, that is x times 1 over y. Okay? Then we have plus z ln x, so that is 0 kasi wala naman tayong y in the term, no? So we have plus 0 plus y ln x, that is simply ln x. And we have u partial z, that's equivalent to 0, plus z partial, z ln x, sa partial derivative niya ay ln x na lang. Then plus 0, kasi wala naman tayong z sa third term. Okay, so nakuha na natin yung tatlo, no? So, ano ang kulang na natin? Yung derivatives na lang natin dito. So, we have x prime of t, this is equivalent to 1. Y prime t, this is equivalent to 2t. And z prime t, this is equivalent to 4 times 1, or simply 4. Okay, so substituting all of this in our given equation, so we have u prime of t is equivalent to ln y plus z over x plus y over x, okay, times, of course, x prime of t is 1, plus u partial y, that is xy, x over y rather, plus ln x. Ayan. Times y prime of t, that is 2t. Okay, then we have plus u partial z, that is ln x. Then we have z prime t, that is 4. Ayan. Okay, so simplifying, no, or yes, simplifying, so we have here ln y plus z plus y over all over x, okay, plus x over y plus ln x plus 2t. Sorry, hindi ko pala redistribute yung 2t. So let me distribute 2t. So we have plus 2t x over y plus 2t ln x plus 4 ln x. So let's substitute the values of x, y, and z to the given, from the given rather. So we have ln t squared plus 4t plus t squared all over t. Okay, then we have plus 2t times t over t squared plus 2t ln t plus 4 ln t. Ayan. Okay, so Ayan. So, simplifying, no? So, of course, magka-cancel to. Diba? Then, we have 4L and T gawin ko exponent ni TC4 as well as with 2 here. No? So, we will have, ito pala magka-cancel din. Diba? So, that will just be simply equal to 2. No? So, we have ln t squared plus 4 plus t plus 2 plus t ln t squared plus ln t to the 4th. Okay, so we have 2 ln t squareds here. This one and this one. So, pwede natin sila pagsamahin. Okay, so let me have here. Okay, so we have u prime of t is equivalent to, that is ln t squared plus 4 plus t plus 2. Diba? Kinokopya ko lang muna. Plus t ln t squared plus ln t to the 4th. Okay, so ito pagsasamahin natin, 4 and 2, this will be 6. Then itong dalawa, no? Ito at saka ito. So, we will have u prime of t is equivalent to, ulayin ko sa ln t to the 4th plus t plus 1 ln t squared. So, this is the result of ln t squared plus t ln t squared. Okay, then we have plus t plus 6. And this is our answer. Ayan. Okay? So, that is u prime of. Now, let's have our next example. So, sabi dito, a base of a right triangle increases at the rate of 0.05 cm per second and its altitude increases at the rate of 0.08 cm per second. Find the rate at which the area increases when the base is 20 cm and the altitude is 16 cm. So, imagine we have here a right triangle. Ayan. So, sabi, no, the base is 20 cm. The altitude is 16. So, sabi, lumalaki daw yung, ano, no? Lumalaki yung, ano natin? Yung triangle natin. Ayan. So, sabi, ano yung rate of increase? So, for the altitude, that is 0.08. For the base, that is 0.05. No? So, ang tinatanong is, ano yung rate ng paglaki ng volume? Okay, nung triangle natin. So, to do that, we need to determine what is, rather the area, no? For us to be able to do that, we need to identify what is the formula of area that we are going to use. Remember, maraming formula ng area ng triangle, no? But since we have the base and the height, no, essentially, so we're just going to use A is equivalent to 1/2 base times height. Okay? So, yan yung gagamitin natin na formula. Now, for us to determine what is A prime of t, kasi 'di ba ang ating parametric variable is t second, no, coming from this, no, sa cm per second. So, this is equivalent to A partial b times b prime of t plus A partial x h prime t. Yan yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so let's first determine the partial derivatives. A partial b, that's equivalent to 1/2 h, tama. So, mawawala lang si b. Ganun din kay partial h. Ayan. Si h naman yung mawawala. So, we already have the values of this in the given, no? So, this is the base, this is the height, no? Ito, this is the base, this is the height. So, ito yung ating mga rates. No, so we can substitute. So we have here A prime of t is equivalent to 1/2 h, B prime of t plus 1/2 b h prime of t. Ayan. Okay, so Game, let us substitute. So we have 1/2 times the height, that is 16 times 20. Sorry, not 20, but 0.08, sorry. 0.05 plus 1/2 times 20 times 0.08. Okay? So, that is the, ano kasi, yung sa height, no? Ayan. Okay? So, game, let us now substitute, rather simplify. So, we have a prime of t is equivalent to, so 16 times 0.05, that is, or 8 times 0.05. So, this is equivalent to 0.4 plus 10 times 0.08. This is 0.08. Yeah. So therefore, no, the increase in the volume is rated at, so we have 1.2 or 6/5. 1.2, what's the unit? So since this is about rate, no, so we have cubic, square centimeter per second. Yan yung rate of increase ng ating triangle, no, based sa graph. Okay? So, I hope malinaw, guys, no? So, game last, no? So, we have our example number 5. The edges of a rectangular parallelepiped are 3, 4, and 5 feet. So, we can use that to determine the values of L. That is 3. Width is 4. And height is 5. No? So, if each rate is increasing at the rate of 2 feet per second, so meaning lahat ng ating DL, lahat ng ating dl over dt, dw over dt, and dh over dt, this is all equivalent to 0.02. Sorry, not 0.02, 2. Not 2 feet. Okay, so we are asked to find for a prime of t. This is equivalent to, the area is equivalent to length times width times height. So we have 3 terms. So we have the partial A of L, then multiply to L prime of t, plus B, bituloy, A partial W times W prime of t, plus A partial H, H prime of t. Yan yung mga papalitan natin. So, let's determine what is A partial L. So, A partial L, this is equivalent to width times height. A partial W is L times height. And partial H is length times width. Okay, so substituting. So, we have here A prime of t is equivalent to WH L prime of t plus LH. Saan ako? W prime of t plus LW H prime of t. Okay, so yan na yung papalitan natin, no? So we have here, our width is 4, height is 5 times 2. Mabilis mag-i-increase to, no? So we have LH, that is 3 times 5 times 2 plus LW, so that is length. Saan ako? 3 times 4 H prime of t, that is 2 pa rin. So therefore, what's the answer? So we have 4 times 5 times 2, that is 40, plus 3 times 5 times 2. So, sorry. So we have 40 plus 30 because 15 times 2 is 30. Plus 20. 3 times 4 is 12 times 2 is 24. So therefore, a prime of t is equivalent to 94. Ayan. Okay, so that's example number 5. And last example for the topic ng total derivatives. Okay? So I hope malinaw guys na kung paano nakuha yun. Sorry, I forgot to include the unit. This is cubic feet per second. Ayan. Okay? So, game. Okay, so partial differentiation of implicit functions or how to get the partial derivative of implicit functions. So, if you can still remember, no, we already have a solution to implicit functions, no? So, just going to, for example, if we have x squared plus y squared is equivalent to 2. So, if we're going to get the implicit derivative of this function or implicit differentiation, this is equivalent to 2x plus 2y y prime is equal to 0. So, we have, lipat mo sa kabila, 2y y prime is equal to negative 2x. So, ating y prime, so, magka-cancel yung dalawang 2. So, we have here negative x over y. So, this is just an example, no? So, just to show or review what is implicit differentiation. Ganun din naman dito, no? Same rules apply for partial derivatives. May konting madadagdag lang, no? So this function, this can be expressed as f of x and y is equal to 0. So from this one, from x and y is equal to 0, we are going to have z be equal to 0. Okay, para yung buong function will just be equal to z. And if we're going to get the total differential, that will be dz over, dz is equal to f prime, f partial x, x prime t plus, rather, differential of x plus f partial y, differential ng y. So, if we are after dz over dx, you're just going to divide both sides by dx or all terms. Kasi dito magka-cancel. This is times 1 over dx. So therefore, we have dz over dx is equivalent to f partial x plus f partial y dy over dx. Okay? So, since z is equal to 0, if we're going to get the derivative of that, that's equivalent to 0. Diba? So, we have 0 is equal to f partial x plus f partial y dy over dx. Okay? So, since we're going to solve for the value of dx, rather dy over dx, lilipat ko si f of x sa kabila. So, we will have negative f partial x is equivalent to f partial y prime of x. Okay, so dividing both sides by f of y. Okay, so we have here, cancel to. So we have y prime of x is equivalent to f f partial x rather, sorry, over f partial y. Ano yung f dito? Yung ating derived equation, no, from the parametric equation. Just like with this one, eto, no? Yan yung hanapin natin. Okay? So, yan, this is the formula, dy over dx is equal to f partial x f over f partial y. Negative, no? So, sige, let's try to answer. So, we have y prime is equal to y squared is equal to 4x squared plus 9. So, we have y prime of x is equivalent to, let me double check. Ayun, tama. So, we have Okay. So, for f partial x, so we will have to transpose, no? Yung y squared sa kabila. So, we have 4x squared minus y squared plus 9. Okay? So, which is equivalent to 0. No? So, ayan. Let's get f. This whole thing is f. Okay, this is f. So, let's get f partial x. So, this is equivalent to 8x minus 0 or plus 0. Kasi wala namang ibang other x, no? So, we have f partial y. F partial y, that's equivalent to negative 2y. No? So, yan. Let's substitute. So, we have here y prime of t is equivalent to negative 8x over negative 2y. Okay? So, cancel. Also with this one, may iwan tayong 4 sa taas. So, therefore, y prime of t is equivalent to 4x over y. Sorry. Ayan, this is the answer. Okay, so let's have example number 2. So, partial derivative ni x and partial derivative ni y. Okay, ang kinukuha. So, from z. So, we have here our implicit function. This one. Okay, so let's transpose 36 sa kabila. So, we have x squared plus 4y squared plus 9z squared. Rather, minus is equivalent to 0. Okay? So, let's get the partial derivative of this function in respect to x, z, and y. So, we have f partial x, that is 2x, nothing anymore. F partial y, that is 8y as well, wala nang iba. F partial z is 18. 18z. No? So, yan yung mga pinapasolve sa atin. Okay, so, pwede na natin substitute. So, we have z partial x is equivalent to negative 2x over 18z. So, cancel. This will just be 9. So, we have z partial x multiplied to negative x over z. Ayan. This is the answer for z partial x. How about partial y? Sige nga. So, for partial y, what we're going to do is f of y naman, or f partial y naman. So, we have negative 8y over negative 2z, or negative 18z, sorry. So, this will be cancelled, as well as with this one, mag-iwang 4 and 9. Okay? So, therefore, z partial y is equivalent to 4 over 9z. Okay? So, I hope malinaw, no? How did we arrive with these answers? So, last, no, we have ganun pa rin, find z partial x and z partial y of the function. So, we have x sine y plus y sine x minus ze raised to x is equal to 0. So, let's get the partial derivatives of kasi 'di ba si z partial x is negative f partial x over f partial z. Then we have Z partial y is negative f partial y over f partial z. So we have f partial x is equivalent to, so that is sine y, plus y cosine x. Okay, so the derivative of sine x is cosine x, minus z e raised to x. This is f partial x. How about f partial y? So we have x cos y plus sine x minus 0 or simply none. Diba? Kasi magiging constant to. So we have f partial z. This is equivalent to 0, 0. Constant kasi yun. So we have negative e raised to x. So substituting, so z partial x is equivalent to negative ng sin y, sin y plus y cos x minus z e raised to x, okay, all over negative e raised to x. Okay, so cancel yung negative signs. So let me rewrite this as z partial x is equivalent to e raised to negative x times sin y plus y cos x minus z e raised to x. Yan. This is our answer. Okay, so for z partial x, how about for z partial y? So we have x cos y plus sin x all over, negative, all over negative e raised to x. So cancel again. Diba? So therefore our answer, this is equivalent to e raised to negative x times x cos y plus sin x. Ayan. Okay? So that's it, no? That's what implicit differentiation of partial derivatives are about. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys learned something throughout the semester that have passed through. Okay? So ingat palagi, stay safe, and God bless.